Good afternoon, everyone. I think you all guys got a very good lunchtime and already full already. But at the time being for this workshop is talking about how we can take stock and move forward for the youth engagement in intergovernance in the region. We got youth, a panel of youth right here joining with us is great friends for you guys. At the time being, we also got some guests to sit on stage to talk about the initiative we are working on right now. So for today's session, we'll separate into two main parts. For the first part, because we got some initiative already organized in the region, so we will share a bit on this. We got the guests from Net Mission, Haley, and the YGF organizer, Jian, Hk Ygf, Kelvin, and also Paul from APrIGF. At the same time, we got some representative from YGF participants during this year. They will also share a bit on this. Remotely, we also got Bianca from IGF Mac to share her own perspective. But not just sharing is the main focus of this workshop. It is more like to have some interaction between us and among us. So we reserve like around half an hour for discussion. So just feel free to share your views on how we can do better engagement work on the internet governance. This is the brief briefing of my speech. So I will just give the mic to Haley to talk a bit on the Net Mission program, that we can share more on how the youth work is right now. Thank you, Haley.
Testing. Oh, thanks, David. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Haley from Net Mission. I guess a lot of the peers know me because I'm one of the organizers for the YGF. It has been like 7 years for the Net Mission that organized. I'm the 5th batch of the program. It is a student-driven program in Hong Kong where there are recruitment for 20 to 25 university students each year. I will start my presentation with the value statement of Net Mission, and it states that it aims to bring together a network of dedicated young volunteers devoted towards promoting and contributing towards digital inclusion, internet governance, as well as respectable and harmonious internet government environment. But for me, my perspective may be a little bit different. Is the photo on the right side. I'm not sure if you can recognize what it is. I'll give you 3 seconds to think about it. Yeah. Okay. You have your own perception for the photo. And actually, this is the dandelion flower, which I think most of you know about it. Maybe some of you don't have this a plant in your country, but it is a plant that can produce seeds, essentially, where the seeds are produced without pollination. Because it's easy for the plant to produce seeds and have a lot of other species easily. Because when the wind breathes, the seeds will go everywhere. So that's my perception to Net Mission. Because when I firstly joined last year, I started to learn the concept of internet governance, and I know a lot of topics like internet access or like cyberbullying or etc. And I start to learn a lot and then contribute from last year till now. And I really learn a lot, and I want to bring these ideas to others as I think it's the value statement of Net Mission. When you learn something about internet governance, you feel you're interested and you're really impressed of the ideas of youth participation in this area. You want to promote this idea to the peers. And I will introduce the composition of the current model in Net Mission, and it basically have 4 areas. The first one is about the recruitment. As I have mentioned, we recruit 20 to 25 university students each year, and we have some interviews and pitching contest. The pitching contest last year is about how we can use ICT in solving social problem, and we have 1-minute presentation to the guests, and also lobby the guests for to your own idea. And it is a really good practices and experience for us, because it's so hard. It's hard for us university students to lobby some government official or some professionals when we're in the study stage. And the second part is about training part. After we selected as NetMission ambassador, we were giving training in some specific topics. As for the participant in YIGF, we start with some easier topics like cyberbullying, freedom of speech, and then we come up with some more topics that we are unfamiliar with, like net neutrality or like the domain names and IP address. And that would be a really good path for us to learn and enter into this internet governance areas. And the third part will be about conference. It is really exciting part that because some of us who are really interested in internet governance this area, we can attend the ICANN, UNIGF, API, NIC, APNG, etc. That's conferences. And for me, myself, I attended the IGF in Brazil last year that I really feel impressed for the multi-stakeholder discussion, which is really where we, in the actual political or like business or even like school industry. And the fourth part is about community project. After we learn, we attend conference, we will do some project to contribute to the society. For example, like this one, we are organizing the YIGF for the peers, for the students in Taiwan and also some students from Philippines, etc. And apart from this, we'll have different kinds of workshops, like the workshop for the housewife to use the internet, or the Digital Warrior Children Carnival for their children in Hong Kong. And this is the model. And like you may have a question, like this model, is it successful? How does it go? Like there may be a lot of program about internet governance. How does it, like NetMission, what's the attractiveness? And this one, and this I will show you some KPI, like because for business sector we always talk about key performance index, and I've tried to collect some information to show you how successful this program is. And you can see it from the screen. We organized NetY since 2012, and Jan will further talk about those like at NetY, YIGF, and also Hong Kong YIGF campaign afterwards. So I won't talk about this, but you can show that you can see that it is like have been so many years for other initiative which is already happened. And for the right side, you can see from the three circle, we have some NetMission ambassador have already been MAC members in IGF, which is a really great success that show that youth can have the ability to participate and engage actively in IG discussion. And from 7 years onwards, we have already have 100+ ambassador already, which know about internet. We know about internet governance, and we like in total, we all the ambassadors have attend 30+ conferences, and which is really good to show that the youth really engage in the real discussion. Like when I see after seeing the key performance index as a whole, I would like to tell my own perspective, the perspective of the attractiveness of the program. This is the forming reason for me to engage in this area, to engage in NetMission from the starting point. The first one is about friendship. We can know a lot of peers. Apart from peers, we can know a lot of professionals, like people working in that particular industry. If I'm interested in domain name, I can know a lot of people from ICANN or other organization. And apart from friendship, it's about the exposure, because it's so hard for university students to really get into this program, to the conferences, because budget problem or apart from budget problem, it may be they didn't know about this IG, because it's not very hot in Hong Kong. For internet, we use it every day, but we don't look at the internet from the governance perspective. So it is really good exposure. And for the insight part, because for me, it's exciting to know a lot of issues currently happened in internet. For me, I really I'm interested in the internet access part, because I like to explore this part and to want to help more in terms of this, because Yeah. If you want to know, like share later, we can talk about it later. And for the autonomy, it's the most core part for net mission. The circle is looked from this way, like to the middle of the circle. Autonomy, what's the point of autonomy is that if we have the full flexibility towards the program, whatever we are interested in, we can step in and explore that area. We are so different from ordinary activity. They have like a rigid agenda for what you have to learn, what you have to organize. But this net mission, if we are interested in specific area, we can like just go into that area and then explore that. And what is the impact to the whole internet governance? I would say there's a like from numbers to quality. What does it mean from numbers to quality? We want to increase the number of people, youth, to know about the IG issues first, which is the bottom, the third lines. And after raising the awareness, we want them to really engage in the IG discussion. We want them to learn the current model, like the peers in the YIGF. We want you to learn about NetMachine, this model, and to see if you can like contribute in a local and then regional and then global context. And this is our like vision. And finally, is to breed future internet governance leader. Like we're young people that if we can learn more about policy setting now, in the future, maybe 5 or 10 years later, we can be like play an active and really like leading role in the IG. And this is like what we are doing as a youth to increase the youth engagement and to like really build a more harmonious internet environment. And this is the end of my sharing. And like for myself, I wish I can tell you the ideas of NetMachine and to see if the same model or you have like a new ideas or new initiatives can like really cooperate and organize in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Hades. I think you have already shared a bit on the NetMachine, and also we also got Jian also from NetMachine to share a bit on the YIGF because you are the organizers of the program, and I know this Hong Kong YGF also organized this month, in early month. So I pass the time to Jian.
Hello. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jian, Net Mission Ambassador, and I have organized the YIGF for 2 consecutive years. And I also attended the IGF in 2013, and also one of the organizers of Hong Kong YIGF. So I will start first with YIGF. So this year's YIGF is the 7th year. We aim to show that the youth is one of the major stakeholders of internet, but our voices are not always heard in decision-making processes. So we aim to raise the awareness of youth when it comes to internet issues and internet governance issues, and to encourage young people to participate more in policy discussions. So that is what Haley mentioned about NetMachine initiating the YIGF in 2013, which is paralleled with APrIGF. So we also have the vision of organizing it for youth by youth. So the YIGF is inspired by the United Nations Internet Governance Forum, which is the global IGF, but it takes the same multi-stakeholder approach as the global IGF. And it is usually a 4-day, 3 nights camp where participants are assigned roles as one of the interest group, such as government, private sectors, and NGOs. With this, we want to encourage them to think from new perspectives and also give them a platform to express and interchange their ideas freely. It also serves as a preparation camp for them to understand various internet issues and open doors to international policy discussions. So this was the IGF 2014 in Delhi. The participants were having role play sessions, which we also had. And this one was in 2013 in Seoul. And this was last year in Macau. And we were having a sharing about Agitora. So some of the highlights of YIGF is having a role play discussion, and it is usually done every year where we have parallel topics with APrIGF. So this year we have it on privacy and cyberbullying, and we hope to encourage local participants to approach the topics from various perspectives, especially from youth. And we also have variety, where new elements are always included into the YIGF camp every year. One example will be the how to drive social change through information communication technology startups, which was done in 2014. And we have the idea wall, which is a session where the participants write about the internet topics they're most concerned about, and we'll have a discussion on it. And finally, we have the workshops, where there are different sessions for multi-stakeholder engagement and youth participation and internet governance. So this was one of the role play sessions, as I said, in Delhi in 2014. And this was the idea wall last year in Macau. And this was a workshop, attending workshops, and another idea wall discussion last year. So now we go to Hk Ygf, which is the local IGF held in Hong Kong. It was established early this month, last month, for young people to speak up on internet issues, and it serves as a module that can be adapted in different Asia Pacific countries, because we want to gain the recognition of youth IGF among students and schools to further develop the regional internet governance discussion network. And we also want them to build up their sense of digital citizenships of students in Hong Kong, and to engage capacity building for youth when it comes to internet governance participation. So it brings youth voice from Hong Kong to the global IGF discussion, and to train ICT leaders in the future. And actually our target audience is local secondary school students in Hong Kong, and also taking our vision of using youth for youth by youth. So some of the highlights of the Hk Ygf is to have a netizen seminar where we kicked off the event. There was a sharing from Microsoft on how to innovation to solve social problems, such as Skype instant translation. And we also have the 3 days, 2 nights camp. Some of the highlights include sustainable development goals and internet governance. So the secondary school students came up with proposals such as software apps on how to solve SDGs. And they also make a 1-minute presentation on child online safety. And there was also another proposal on a topic that they're most concerned about, so privacy, security, and other things. And there were also different workshops conducted by speakers. And finally, we have the Youth Internet Summit on a different day. And the participants discussed 3 topics: privacy and security, freedom of expression and hate speech, and human rights. And this was followed by the 1-minute presentation on the assigned topics. And then the 10 minutes debate between the participants. And we also had feedback from guests, including Microsoft, Hong Kong Family Welfare Association, and the Office of the Privacy Commissioner for Personal Data.
測同埋幾個月喺未來，我哋將會全力配合推動呢個網絡同埋科技嘅發展。
A 十咁啦，住半山區嘅。咁三圍咧？36，436。
上個仔俾人蝦，咁你就唔好喺網上蝦人啦。Kitty， 你啱啱喺度做乜啊？
水魚啦，今次做唔得3級。我去到呢間學校啊。哇！佢啲數學低分。唔知有一日表經覺唔覺哆啦 A 夢好樣衰？
又肥又矮又藍色又冇耳，係最 weird 度。
咁都信？你個腦係咪空心？
我哋 Adobe 之後都會有下片嘅。
可能 A 處處都用眼用腦。
Okay, so that was the recap video for the Hong Kong YIGF. And we also developed a toolkit in order for other countries to adopt the local YIGF model. So it's like a lesson plan or a guide, and it's available in the NetMission website. So here you can see there's one for YIGF. It includes the guide for idea wall or initiative planning and land developer, and there's also one for Hong Kong YIGF. So with this, we aim to allow different countries and regions to adopt the YIGF model into their own countries. So that's all. Thank you.
So thank you, Jian, to talk about the YIGF and Hk Ygf. Indeed, already got some initiative to be shared from the perspective from Youth Network, and would like to introduce Kelvin, pass it by to Kelvin to talk about how the engagement from the perspective from ICANN.
Thanks, David. I thought you were gonna speak. Okay, hi everyone. This is Kelvin Wong from ICANN APAC Hub. So we're based in Singapore. If you don't know about ICANN, you can search ICANN.org. It's the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. I've been working closely with David since ICANN 49. I think NetMission was the one who started this initiative in ICANN called the Next Gen at ICANN, which is something similar to what you're doing here. Basically, you run a program parallel to the main conference. So anyway, I wanted to mention a bit about what Haley mentioned. You had this concentric circles, and somewhere in the you have this friendship, exposure, insight, and autonomy. I was thinking somewhere in the circle you might want to add in contribute and influence, because maybe that's like the next step. I mean, you're here to learn, of course, but you already now you can contribute and can influence discussions at even the global level. Just wanted to empower you, if I may. Okay, so at ICANN, I am sort of looking into, as you can see, outreach and as well as youth engagement and newcomer engagement in the APAC office. Now, if you don't know about ICANN, I already shared where you can find more information. But to put simply, we help to run the address book of the internet. We are responsible for the domain name system, which means that it's something that helps you translate the internet, well, the IP addresses, the internet protocol, the addresses, a string of numbers that the computers speak in, and the networks and computers speak into the language that you are familiar with, which is words, numbers, names. Right. Without that, you'll be interacting with your computer and trying to get to the website by having to type in a string of numbers, for example. Yeah. So we help to make sure that you don't have to do that. Apart from that, what we do is also the policy development process, which is through the multi-stakeholder model, bottom-up. I'm sure you have heard a lot about this, heard a bit about ICANN, what we do, as well as the multi-stakeholder model. So I have 2 points to make here at this session today. First is that okay, can we go to the next slide? Okay, the multi-stakeholder model involves you too. Okay, this is it's not a rock concert. It's a picture of an engagement activity that I had, which was done in Philippines. I understand there are some Philippine attendees here. I'm not sure if you attended this. This is the Youth for IT conference. Oh, you do? You okay? So you might have heard me speak about ICANN or my colleagues, and I think it's an amazing event with 4,000, 5,000 people in a conference room and well, in a convention center, and going up on stage, I feel like a rock star, and I want to throw my body over the attendees. Anyway, yeah. So that was something that I got a chance to attend. I'm thankful for that. So the multi-stakeholder model, you have heard various speakers over the course of the last 3 days speak about the model, as well as the fact that how APAC, the Asia Pacific, is actually home to more than about half of the world's internet users. Okay, the other nugget of information is that we are also home to more than half of the world's youth as well. So put that together, and I think we have a lot of work to do in terms of engagement in internet and internet governance. I also ran a session earlier in the week on overcoming challenges in APAC participation. And that is to do with how we can actually raise our participation rate and overcome challenges in the APAC when it comes to participation in internet governance in local, regional, and global platforms. So after the session at dinner, I overheard one of the participants to my session that said he didn't really understood what the session was about. I take it to mean that he didn't understand what the problem was to that. Basically, what is the problem with us having a more limited participation, for APAC having limited participation as opposed to other countries? My point here is that let's not get used to it. I know sometimes when you attend a particular global platform, you see the APAC participation may not be as good as some of the other participation in other regions, and as a youth, you go in and think that, hey, this is what it's supposed to be. No, it's not. So my point here is that it's not supposed to be, and that the session that I ran was about how do we fix that. So the message here is let's not get used to that. How do we then which this brings me to the next point. If you can go on to the next slide. How do we then make the youth ready for capacity, for discussion in internet governance conferences like this? You know, the youth, I mean yourself, myself even, we have been exposed to a lot of social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and for a lot of us, mobile devices are a window to the internet. So much so that these have become synonymous with the internet itself. Okay, and sometimes we run the risk of forgetting that there are more things beyond what we see, the applications that we see. Right? So the idea is, how do we make you and the youth be aware of the actors and the players behind the internet and what made it work beyond your interaction with Facebook, Instagram, Google. I'm sorry I'm raising it. These are just examples. And I'm not targeting any particular applications. How do we encourage discussions on shaping internet policies and the need to find a voice? Right. So to help address some of these, I'll focus a bit on what APAC Hub is doing, what ICANN is doing. Okay, for the region. We are doing a few initiatives, and at the global level, for ICANN, we have the fellowship program that is intended to bring people from around the world to the ICANN meeting so that you can have a voice and to take part. And we have online learn programs. I mean, we call it online learn program. ICANN Learn. So these are online programs that you can take part wherever you are. And of course, we have initiatives. The APAC Hub works with the APrIGF, which is the a large community in ICANN to build a capacity, to have capacity building series, webinar series where anybody can attend, end users they can attend to be updated on matters related to ICANN or internet governance in general. And of course, at the APAC Hub, what we do is to you might have attended the, I'm sure many of the youths here, you should be, you have attended the Day Zero of the APrIGF program. That's the Asia Pacific Internet Leaders Program, Leadership Program, APLP. So we are assisting Prof. Ang Peng Hua, so ICANN Hub assists as the secretariat for this program, and I hope you do have a lot of takeaways from this program, and I'm happy to hear feedback from you as well on this program. So these are just some of the things we do. Up ahead, we have in the next few months we are running a few other programs. I'm mindful of time. I wanted to really hear from the rest of the, well, from Paul as well, and also from the floor. So I'll be quick about these two programs that I'm going to introduce. In the next 2 months, we're going to run a program, the Asia Pacific Internet Governance Academy, that's in Seoul, and I'm happy to have David on the selection committee as well, and he has been a great help. And I know you guys are also planning a mock ICANN board meeting, so that's what that's the collaboration that we have, and that academy is really for the youth, for not well, we have about 60 participants from both, well, from in APAC. So half of them are about half of them are Koreans, and the half are from around the region in Asia Pacific. So that's one thing that we are doing in collaboration with David's team. The other one is, of course, the ICANN meeting. I spoke about the Next Gen program. So that is the first time it's coming back to APAC since David helped me run it. Okay, no, we worked together on it. So, that is happening in early week, the first week of November in Hyderabad. We have up to 20 youths that it's in the process of being selected for this. So that's what ICANN APAC Hub and what I am preoccupied with these days. What my last words are these. Beyond some of these activities that we do sometimes in silo, and of course we have a lot of interaction points, there is a need for continuity. So these are not just one-off programs. We hope to, if possible, replicate some of these programs, and as far as possible, to get the good attendees or good participants, all the participants, to get them involved in future activities. So it's not a one-off thing that you get it done and then you forget about IG, ICANN, NetMission, and APrIGF. What I want to stress here, which is my third point, I'm sorry, I mentioned in 2 points, is the need for continuity. I'll end here. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelvin. Look, it's an honor to be here in this group. I really appreciate the work that that's being done to bring youth, to bring this audience, this participation into these processes. I can't underestimate or overstate how valuable this is and how important. So really, congratulations to you all for being here and doing this. A few words about me. I thought I might just mention a bit from the past because I might be one of the oldest people here. But I started using computers in about 1980. I was lucky enough to have access to a computer then, and within a few years was using networking as well, and then the internet by 1990 or so. And back in those days, these were things that you could never learn in school because the teachers knew nothing about it. And so it was a matter of learning by getting to know people, learning by making friends, learning by interacting. And of course, when the internet came along, it kind of exploded. It exploded that. But I don't think that in that sense much has changed. I think there's a lot more to know these days. There are a lot more people involved. It's a lot more complicated. I mean, back when I was a kid, it was possible to be a computer expert. There's no such thing anymore. I mean, you can't be a web expert unless you've got a brain the size of a planet. It's so much huger and more complex. And I really think the challenge of bringing people together and networking and learning from each other is still as big as it was then. It's as important as it was then. And I wish that when I was a kid, NetMission was around to do the sort of visionary stuff that you're doing, because it's really it's fantastic. It's something that will only help to grow and accelerate the community that you've got here. And so back then there weren't too many rules about the internet or about networking. I was one of my early and most sort of inspiring experiences in my mid-20s actually was going to Brazil for the UN Conference on Environment and Development. And we were involved with a team that was teaching networking, text-based networking back then, and installing the first internet connection in Brazil. Now that was not regulated at all. And things are regulated more now, but I still think the teachers and the regulations are way behind where you all know things are. So, you know, rules are there to be challenged, sometimes broken, but at least challenged. And it's better to ask forgiveness than it is to ask for permission, if you understand that. And I think that's something that I probably don't need to tell you, and I think it's what this interaction should be all about. Now, these days, and for quite a few years now, I've been part of APrIGF, which is part of the internet sort of administrative governance framework. So we allocate IP addresses. We serve a technical community. We've always had a dedication to helping the internet to grow. And I mean, we used to simply call it training and education, but these days it's actually called capacity building, which is a much sort of deeper term about the assistance that needs to be given to people, to all of us, the assistance to learn, not just the information itself, but the opportunities to learn as well. And it is just as important as it ever was. The internet, as it's been described as an arena of public competition, vigorous, ruthless public competition, but a lot of private collaboration. And so again, the building of capacity and the building of the network itself, the capacity to build the network is a matter of collaboration. And so at APrIGF, we actually do try to bring youth into our capacity building. We've got fellowship programs, and we've got more recently youth-targeted fellowship programs for the meetings that we have, and we hope that we're doing our little bit. But I also hope that you don't, no one feels you need to wait for that permission or necessarily wait for that assistance. I'm really inspired by the involvement of a lot of young people in the internet governance scene, because again, you people know more about what's going on than your parents do, and that's really critical. In my role as the MSG chair, the chair of the Multi-Stakeholder Steering Group, I'd like to point out that there are no age limits on the MSG. That anyone can join and is able to and welcome to join, and so I'd ask you to bear that in mind. And as Kelvin said before, I mean, those are the ideas that we saw before about the inspiration for youth can be augmented with contribution, and you should never feel that you need permission or that you're not able to contribute in the way that Kelvin mentioned. So look, that's probably enough from me. I'm here sort of more to listen, I hope, than to speak. So that's just a few thoughts. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Hi. Thank you, Paul. And we also got remote participation, remote speakers, Bianca.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I cannot be there physically, but nice to meet you. I'll give you a bit of my background and kind of like come from an IGF perspective. And we don't have, youth programs per se, but I'll tell you a bit of what we're doing and how you can get engaged. And I'll keep it very short and sweet because I don't have a presentation. And I'm sure you'll doze off very soon because food coma right now. My experience with internet governance started with IGF. And I also went to ICANN once, but I've been, returning to IGF on a yearly basis. So basically, it started with me going to the Hk Ygf quite a long time ago. I'm not going to reveal my age. And it started with something like, hey, there are young people in the conference. And then I think that mindset changed a lot. Over the years, last year I was selected as one of the youth representative for the MAG, which is a Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Council, and that is necessarily putting together the entire IGF agenda. And even with last year and this year, I see a very, very different engagement. Last year, it was only 2 people, other than myself, who was talking about youth. But this year, we see more and more MAG members think youth is very important. And actually, to tell you a secret, actually, one of the youth workshops was ranked #1 in the entire, within all the workshops, right? So how I see this is, an IGF, now learning about internet governance has 4 steps, and that's basically the same learning process with everything. It starts with learning, and then, better understanding, then going into participation, like active participation, and eventually leading. And I think it's really good that we have this momentum. We have all these the other stakeholders who just including APrIGF or ICANN. We're all like very keen to engage youth, and this awareness should turn into a meaningful policy contribution. And for me, what really interests me is for all the youth there, how do we make internet governance discussion appealing to you? And I think Haley did mention, networking, exposure, being in the industry. These are all different great factors, but that's really something that keeps me awake at night, right, per se. in terms of the youth engagement. So that's something I think which is super important. The other thing is with engagement and a meaningful engagement, it's really impossible to bring everyone to the same place. So, ensuring remote participation is important. So that's something that is important for me. And also having these regional and national IGF, for example, the one that you are in today, I think those are great avenues to engage more youth, at least in the learning and understanding part, and even in the participating part, right, that I was mentioning. So, as a little summary for me, at least, I'm happy to be your champion if you're willing to learn more about it. I can send you documents. And I know that there are so many resources out there for us to learn. And I think the thing is to ask all of you today, how do we make this sustainable and appealing for you so that, we keep doing things that are helpful for you. So, that's kind of like where I think a good discussion should start. And, to bring it back to IGF, if you're interested to participate, there are a lot of remote participation chances. And the other thing is there will likely be a main session on youth this time. So I think that's another place that would be great for you to shine. And then there's also a youth coalition on internet governance that is ongoing and discuss different issues. For example, we had a policy address on WSIS plus 10. So, these are the areas that you can participate in. So I'm very willing to listen on, how to make IG discussion more youth appealing. And I think that bring it to the planning of the coming IGF. So I'm very keen to listen to you. So that's my narration for now, and I'll pass it back to you, David.
Hi. Thank you, Bianca. As you also know, Bianca is also an alumni. So not only about how the capacity building should be, I think Bianca is also a very good example of us to how youth can be actively engaged in the internet governance discussion to put your input for the future development of internet. And of the program, we also support, we also got the youth from Youth IGF, which is who is Jessica and Joseph. So we pass the mic to you because you also got some planning sessions in yesterday. So I would like to hear more from you to think about how we can move forward from the youth perspective.
Okay, thank you, David. I am Joseph. Then here are some of our proposals that we've had during our workshops, simulation workshop that we've had yesterday. And these proposals may be a bit too far-fetched, so to speak. And in my belief, there is no need for you to stop in reaching the sky. You can always shoot for the stars. So for the first, we had the major themes. Next slide, please. We touched on the themes of having local partners and overseas partners in. There. Thank you. In local partners and overseas partners collaborating with the youth in order to bring about youth engagement, that there are projects that will motivate and empower the youth to become more participative in the internet governance. So, in the first proposal, this is based on the context of the Philippines, where we propose having a business organization, a network solution company that would make a network infrastructure project for our country, because there is what we call our country is dependent on another country's internet backbone, and for this one, it's this network solutions company will collaborate with other foreign internet service providers so that they can improve the internet service of the Philippines. For the second proposal, the second proposal is a fundraising program based from where we would establish a non-government organization that will use crowdsourcing for us to fund programs that is based on the given, or where there is a map of projects around the world that can be funded by local or foreign investors so that these projects may succeed. These projects may include those that would educate the youth of to become more digitally aware or more digitally literate in the internet. Our third proposal is the disaster information platform. Also, we would establish a non-government organization where there would be like an early warning system, much like a good example for this is the early warning system in Indonesia, where when there is going to be a tsunami that is going to approach the shore, there would be an SMS-based messaging platform that would text the citizens near the shorelines to evacuate. In here, it's the data that would be collected would be coming from the citizens, and it would be more relevant to the government officials because they would be able to have an accurate picture of what is happening in that given area or the situation that is in that area. So the government or other people can help in solving what they're currently facing. They could provide the supplies and the aids and the funding so that there is a more instant and comprehensive information from the general public. I'll pass this mic to Jessica.
And the fourth proposal that we're going to do is that we wanted to start up a cyberbullying support center. This center allows the victim to share their own stories and also provide them mutual support and solutions. And most important of all is the education materials. Those materials allows the victims and bullies to actually learn from that and will prevent that happen. And the fifth proposal is that we wanted to have an NGO of English education because we wanted to reduce the inequality of accessing the information arises from lack of English education and also provide an efficiency and effectiveness of use of internet. And the sixth proposal is a reward scheme. Because nowadays that young adults have overused the internet on their mobile phones, so in order to reduce the usage, we can give them like rewards or something such as McDonald's or 7-Eleven. And also the next one is the certain goals. Like we can set up a goals and after, for example, the sponsor donate money to rural areas for infrastructure or internet access.
The next proposal is much like what Mr. Kelvin Wong has shown in the picture, where it's more like how the Philippines had held its Youth for IT convention or congress. But this one, it is titled Intuition, where it is also a conference or convention, but it is going to be free for the public. And its target demographic is the Filipino youth, whose ages are from 15 to 25, and they are the frequent internet users. So here in this conference, we will invite speakers from different parts of the world or different sectors, from the business, from the private, from the government, to speak up about a theme about the internet or various topics on the internet and technology, where the aim of this event is to raise the digital literacy, the awareness, and responsibility of the Filipino youth.
And the next project is bottom up. We wanted to have a TWYIGF, and this main goal is that we wanted based on the concept of globalization and growth from root. First of all, I'll talk about the localization. It's a combination of globalization and localization. and to increase the participation of youth take part in the internet governance from local to global. And we think that the local internet governance should be the basement of global internet governance. And the participation of young people would be a sustainable strength towards internet governance. And that is the reason we established this program. And the second one is growth from root. And this program would provide education to internet governance. Moreover, expand and provide more paths for young participation to make our young people more willing to engage in this field. And this is our suggestion activities. First, we will found a training camp. After people get knowledge from this training camp, they could give lecture to students, and the student can start up a study group and then form a workshop to get deeper research about these activities and the research that they're interested in.
That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph, and also Jessica. I think you already done a very good job on recapping your discussion of how you can move forward, because I think one mainly mission of the YIGF is doing the capacity building, but on the other side is how we can move forward and doing actual work in your own country. You got very brilliant ideas like having conference and even TWYIGF to be organized, and also some cyberbullying hotline. I think you should just try to, when you guys just end this conference, as also echo to other speakers, when we end, it's not just the end of the program. You should to bring it forward and to try executing your plans, finding some possible partners, maybe ICANN, maybe APrIGF, maybe the other local partners to make it come true. As for now, we're going to the session for discussion. We're open for floor. But beforehand, we also got some remote participation comments on the issues. So I would like to read that out, because as we also mentioned in our discussion right now, is about how we can engage the participation from different stakeholders and also maybe from youth throughout the social media network or even the other platform. We can do better engagement, not only the on-site participation, but also the remote participation. On the following time, we also maybe focus on this area to discuss more how we can engage. So I just reading out the remote participation comments. On one is about ICANN, also civil society, smart village, youth of the world in Asia, 400 millions, open indie brings the digital Indian skills development next generation, like the internet frameworks aren't open for Asian youth, just for all of you, must connect with open knowledge commerce. So I'm trying to recap it and in more sense, because for the youth in the Asia region should be of the most of the population of the future internet as well. It's important to having the open resources and open knowledge platform for everyone to be learned about how the internet should be. So I hope I recap it in a proper sense. If not, please correct me if I'm wrong from the remote participation. So on the other sense, we move to the fourth question to talk about maybe a few areas that we have already mentioned. For the first one, it will be about how we can engage more youth in the conference and in the internet governance discussion, no matter the rates of direct participation. Not, I'm meaning that to flow to the conference and actively participate in person. But on the other sense is how we can engage the youth remotely to the discussion, maybe like social medias or the other the creative ideas from the floor to share with it. And the other is, as there's already got discussion on capacity building and direct participation, and also the continuities problems of, not problems, but the issues of how we should be continuously engage in the discussion. So I think for the other areas, when we talk about not only on capacity buildings, how we can encourage more youth to directly participate and to be willingness to putting input on the discussion. So I would like to open the floor for everyone of you to share a bit on what you think about the issues and the questions. Yeah, you've obviously warmed up. It is common. Okay, before everyone got some more, maybe I share a bit more first. Or at the back, do you got any comments? And on the other area, we state in the workshop is also about how to make the conference or the discussion more youth appealing. I think it's the third area we can also focus on. For example, in the past discussion in IGF and APrIGF, it's also like to mention about, is it possible to put some KPIs not only on the gender balance, but also like the youth participation rate to be included in the workshops. It should be like the one way, or the other way is like, is there any need of some toolkits or some survival kit for youth or newcomers that can be prepare more youth to get well prepared beforehand to join the conference. This is also the areas we can focus on because I know from the floor is most of you is also from the YHF camp. So I think you can, as the past few days, you also participate in the APrIGF conference. You can also share from your own perspective of how the conference can be more youth appealing, or is there any assistance to be needed beforehand on the sense? Or Bianca, I think you can grab the mic to speak a few words, maybe.
Hi. Like I just wanted to ask, what the youth there, what motivates you, or what's stopping you from participating? Like, what do you need?
And I think I'm speaking in behalf of the youth. What really is stopping us from doing or from participating in such internet governance forum is really opportunity. Opportunity to be a participant in such internet governance forum that we may want to join these kinds of events, but somehow there are factors that we need to consider before we can really do join this event. Like for example, there are some of us here who had to score high mountain and ocean just to get funding to go to Taiwan, to get the plane tickets, to get the visa, to arrange the accommodations. And perhaps Jessica would also want to share her experience.
Okay. Oh. From my point of view, I think that the motivation is come from our major, because I don't really study in like something related to internet, because I major in international business, and I hoping that I can combine these two and make it better, because in the future, internet become really important in our daily life. So that is the motivation that I wanted to participate in this event.
And here is the voice of the youth from our backside. Let's start with some of our friends or the new friends that we've met during this event. Let's start with Minas.
So hello, I'm Minas. Well, I think I'm quite same as Jessica. Like I'm like really unprofessional, especially in like IT area. I study foreign languages, so kind of like no relationship. But I think it's really a good opportunity to participate in this event to have to exchange opinions with other participants from different countries. Well, Philippines, Thailand, Africa, West Africa, and 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 it's also a good opportunity to listen all of the workshops, bring me to a really new field, and gain more knowledges. Yeah.
I'll pass this mic to another friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm Amo. Uh, actually, I'm here by chance because I saw a poster in a university. It's not my university, but I was just passing by and I saw something internet. And I'm a student in computer science, so I saw internet. Well, it was okay, but when I saw governance, I said, internet governance. Maybe maybe it will be interesting to try. This is how I applied, and I think that if there is the internet government, there is no presence of internet governance forum in the universities, for example. If it was possible to have like some clubs in the universities, maybe it will allow more young people to join the different conferences. For example, I saw the guys from Filipino. I think they can, when they go back, they can start a club in your school and invite other schools to start a club about, like, I don't know, YGF club, and talk about your experience here, talk about some issues you discuss here. And I think this kind of thing can bring more people to the topic, and also allow more people to participate in the different forums. So this is and also the Taiwanese student, of course, because I met others, country mates from Taiwan, and when we talk, they say that is maybe one of the professor talked about it in the class, or they saw it also in a poster. But if it was like a small organization, they can help for the problem you mentioned, like applying the visa and all those stuff, and also give more insight about the different issues. So I think this is what I can add about why I joined and what young people need to participate more. Thank you. Yeah, I like your approach. It's good. Maybe you can continue to. Yeah, actually, it's a good approach because for all the workshops, it's generally when they invite the young people to talk. It's strange, but local people, Taiwanese or other young people, they are not. Maybe they are afraid. I can understand that sometimes it's difficult to speak up in front of important people, VIPs. But I think your approach is good. Actually, you should invite people to talk. You don't have to be afraid to say something bad, because just speaking is a contribution.
Sir David, do we still have time? Maybe my friend here would like to pass the mic to another participant.
Sure. Just feel free.
Yes, I am roommate of Amo. I'm Taiwanese student major in information management. Actually, this camp for me is very significant to me because it somehow connect with my major, and when I will attend this campaign, I think my professor told me that he have a email of this, and he forward to me, and he want me to attend this and gather all kind of information and prepare for kind of little presentation for my professors. And so because I'm actually working in computer center and there's got lots of security and privacy problem in our center, we are very hard to know what we should do or what we shouldn't do. So after this all kind of activities and all kinds of workshops, it let me know a lot about this kind, how we can balance this. And so I think it's a very great experience for me to be here. I really learned a lot, and thank you all.
Thank you for the question, and we got Bianca as well to speak a few words. Bianca, you got the mic.
Okay. I just wanted to say, this is great. Great. Like, I really love how genuine you're coming. The other thing I want to emphasize is, there tend to be, there's like an official. There are, people who are more like powerful or whatever, or they're more experienced. And I think it's very true. One of the participants just said, don't be afraid. And obviously you want to mingle with you, but the other thing I think that's more valuable is to mingle with other participants there. So see yourself as equal, and you have equal say in all the topics. So that's where I just wanted to emphasize. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca. And it's also the time for floor again. So is anyone from the floor got some question? Or some sharing from your own perspective of why you engage here, or how it can be in a better way to have the continuities of your engagement?
Hello, I'm Fanny, and actually, when I touched this topic, I didn't know what is internet governance. I think it's related to like government. So I searched the information about this topic, and I think it's really a new topic, not topic for me. And I think after these 5 days, I know about many topic of internet. I think they use new internet very well, but we don't know how to use it to protect us, and so I think this is a really good platform for us. It doesn't matter what identity of us, and we can give our opinion of this like so important platform. So it's my own opinion of this. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ruby, and I'm really glad to join this 4 days activity because I'm not major in internet also. Yeah, I'm major in management, and I think this is a great chance for me to learn new things, and it's great to listen the workshop topic that I didn't focus before. And I think I got lots of things this day. Thank you. and I'll give my mic to Lydia.
Hello everyone, my name is Lydia and I come to this camp with my friends. And actually, I think this topic is very tough to me because I'm like Jessica, I'm in an international business. And before I came to this camp, I come to this camp and I found out that we always use the internet, but we don't really understand the internet to us. We think because we have the like security and privacy, and we found out that we are using internet, but we need to know about these kind of things so we can protect ourselves, not like
Pass back to the panels. Got questions?
Yeah, I think this is very interesting, and thanks for your perspectives. But I'd like to ask you to take one more sort of activist step, and could anyone here share a single thought on what you would do, what you would like to see different in the APrIGF so far that you've seen? Is there something that you would just change to make it better for you, or something that is so obvious that that you think we should have thought of it already, or whatever? How would you make it different? Even just one thing. Thanks.
I think probably it would be like the setup of this event. That it's like the setup of this event is just like we are the audience just watching a panel, and it seems that we're not really engaged in the panel discussion. I think it would be better if it's like a round table, that where each person has access to a microphone or can speak up their voice, just to say a comment or a remark or a suggestion or their opinion about what is being said during the panel discussion.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marcus Kummer. I was the head of the IGF Secretariat for the first 5 years, and I also participated at a youth camp that was seeded the first Asia-Pacific regional IGF in 2010. I always appreciated interacting with young people. It keeps us elder people young if you hear fresh ideas. And I would like to pick up on what Bianca said. Don't just mingle among yourselves, but mingle with the other participants, and don't be afraid to approach them. They actually quite like that, to be approached by young people and to exchanges. And I would like to pick up on your suggestion. Maybe it might be helpful to have that kind of session right at the beginning, maybe a session with speakers so that the youth IGF get to know the other people and feel maybe a little bit less shy to approach them. And yes, definitely, I enjoyed the last bit of this session much better than the first. Excellent panelists, but the interactive bit makes it actually more exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed, is GN, you got something to also share a bit?
So just answering what Bianca said about participation. Actually, I started my IGF like 3 years ago in 2013. I was just a secondary school student, so I wasn't majoring in anything, and joined this competition organized by DotAsia, and wrote research on cyberbullying. And because of that, I was able to go to IGF in 2013. But the feeling that you get like being a secondary school student and going to IGF with all these, like you said, VIPs and all those people makes you feel like your opinion isn't that credible or something. So even though I've been in like IG discussions for 3 years, I still find it quite difficult to interact and all that. But I just want to show that this is also a way to move forward. So even if you just been to like this IGF, doesn't mean that it's going to stop here, because like I said, I've been here for 3 years, and I started as a participant. Now I'm an organizer, and now sitting here as a panelist instead of just a normal attendant. So that's just what I want to say.
Thank you, Jian. Maybe we open up the floor for the last one. We got Eris and Amon. Okay, Amon and then Eris, maybe.
Okay, just to say that to participate more, I think that it's good to be prepared, because if you are not prepared, it's more difficult to really engage in the different topics. I understand that the day zero, this is I think that this is the objective of the day zero, but I don't. For someone who is like really a beginner, a novice, I'm not sure that one day is enough to really know like what will happen. That's why I really want to emphasize about the role of the local organizations, like in universities, if it's possible to have people there, at least one person to prepare their classmates to the different YIGF. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Aris for the record. Yeah, it's first of all, I would like to commend the organizers. This is really a big thing we're in. The youth start being engaged with IG in a very young age. It's based on experience. It's really hard to really be, assimilated in a way with all of the topics that you would be covering and you would be encountering. When I started not really way back, but just a couple of years, it's really overwhelming on my part. And I admit that up to now that I've been engaged fully, it's really still hard for me to be into it because of some of the issues some of which are not really familiar. But because of this avenue, it really helps a lot of the youth to be really engaged at a very young age. And I really commend the organizers for that. And as a suggestion, not really a suggestion, but a tip for the youth, start small, start little, because those little things that you would be stepping on can be, later on be geared towards big things. So that's it. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. So I just for some recap on the discussion, to passing some few words among ourselves. I think for the whole internet governance discussion is not need to have some permission or some orders from the other ones or from the big shark to let you speak. Is on your own hands, on everyone and every stakeholders to actively engage in a discussion. No matter what background you are from, you are the internet users of nowadays. I think it is important to get everyone involved and actively participate in it. On the other sense, it's about to think from the perspective from like activists. I think it is very important for everyone of us to think about it. On the sense is for the workshop today, we talk about how we're taking stock from the past experience and how we can move forward. To move forward is how we can contribute to the future internet development. How we can think about the settings or like Joseph has just mentioned about the room settings can be more like round table and to be actively engage everyone. This kind of suggestion can be think more from our own perspective to contribute to the whole development of the internet. So again, thanks everyone for joining this workshop. Round of applause for everyone, and I will close the session here. And our session will be continued online, and for next year we also like to see everyone to be engaged and applying for the workshop and for discussion. Thank you.